Hi, I'm James.
And I'm Ian.
Welcome back to Faith in Film. In this video, we'll be talking about the functionality of film.
We're going to take a look at some of the artistic choices that come into play when writing and filming a story.
Understanding the techniques used in filmmaking and storytelling give the viewer a wider lens into the minds of writers, producers, and directors. There's endless tools used in this industry. Some are very standard and some are up to the preference of the artist. In this section, Ian and I are going to introduce some of the tools we use to sniff out theological undertones in films. Moral premise. Stan Williams writes, "The moral premise describes how successful motion pictures are always structured around a psychological or spiritual premise based on true moral values, and how screenwriters can appropriate the structural elements of the moral premise to write successful movies. The formula for this tool goes like this: vice leads to defeat, but virtue leads to success. For example, we'll use the movie Warrior, written by Gavin O'Connor. The moral premise would be something along the lines of resentment leads to separation, but forgiveness leads to reconciliation. Using this tool helps us understand how movies provide solutions to problems." The controlling idea. This is really the theme of a film, but controlling idea is a better way of saying it. Robert McKee explains in his book Story, the controlling idea describes how and why life undergoes change from one condition at the beginning to another at the end. Discovering the controlling idea can be done by asking questions such as, what lie does the character believe? What does the character want? What does the character need? And what does the character learn? And what decisions does the character make? Which leads us to our next point. The forces of antagonism. The protagonist of any story can only be as strong as the forces that work against them. These forces push the protagonist towards a difficult decision, and the decisions that they make reveal their true character. Their decisions and true character reveal a great deal about the controlling idea, the moral premise, and offer insight into deeper theological themes. Visual story. The techniques that go into visual storytelling are endless. It all begins with composition. Composition is the way elements are arranged in a picture. Considerations such as camera angle, framing, blocking, and color temperature all go into telling a story, and they inform the viewer how to respond emotionally to a picture. This is a very useful tool and would be great for any moviegoer to learn and apply.
James has given us some useful tools that he and I use all the time to discover and examine theological themes in films. Now, these aren't the only tools that we can use, but they are a pretty good place to get started.
With these tools in our arsenal, in our next video, we'll look at some common theological themes that show up in the movies we love to watch.